Hi everyone, we are here with His Highness Crown Prince Aleksandar and his Princeza Katarina. And I just wanted to welcome you to Toronto again after 5 years it's been with another dinner, and hopefully we're going to be raising money tonight for people in Serbia, and we want to talk about it a little bit more. So let me just hear about Lifeline organization. How did it start? When did it start?
Well, when we before we went to Serbia 22 years ago,
that was
I knew there was a tremendous need in the country. And I was doing my best from United Kingdom, where we lived at the time, and we had the boys there with us. And I just thought to myself, we have to go home. We have to go home and work from home, Serbia, and to help the people. And for them to know where they're, for their needs and for caring for them after they went through this incredible conflict. And there was no question in my mind that that was the right thing to do. And meanwhile, my husband was working very hard in trying to unite the people in bringing a better future for all. And so I followed him, and I was very happy and so impressed with the way he was handling everything and the way he was working in putting the people together. So I'm very proud that he gave me this opportunity to live in Serbia and to help the people, because we have a mission. We're there for a mission.
Let's talk about the mission. So today's goal. What is today's goal? What are we here? What is tonight's opportunity to raise the money? What is it for? And what is the goal?
For this evening in particular.
In this evening in particular.
One cannot do something on their own. And unity is what we need more than anything else in our country and everywhere else. We need to be united, to respect the people, and to work together. I knew I could not do it alone. My goodwill and my tears in wanting and seeing so much that needed to be done, and it really was bringing tears in my eyes, saying, how can I do this on my own? So that is when Lifeline started. Chicago, New York, Toronto, London, Athens, and Belgrade.
Oh, nice.
And the Ministry of Health asked me to be the official coordinator for the health of the country. And so I was constantly in touch with people all over the world, trying to explain the situation the way it is, and asking for help. You know, everyone has to understand the motherland is motherland. Right. And we can, just like we cannot forget a mother, we cannot forget the motherland. And what I was hoping Lifeline would do is remind people their life and where they need to help. And I must admit, the Serbian people touched me very much. They were in tears when I was saying, you love Serbia, don't you? They say yes. And Republika Srpska, Drina nije granica. And so we were able to together. And then people could see the enormous results we had. Enormous results in all the hospitals.
So let's talk
medical equipment.
That's right.
And we have had the highest incidence of breast cancer in Europe. And thanks to Njarho's foundation, they spent $800,000 and got a mobile unit with digital mammography. And we immediately put it throughout the country. We have now examined a little over 160,000 women throughout the country, from village to village. And I was in tears the other day in the palace, because what happened is we have tours, you know, people who come to tour a place. And we normally come and say hello, I hope you're enjoying these beautiful palaces. And the lady says, I've been here before, I didn't come for the palace. I said, well, I'm sorry, what are you here for? She says, because I've been calling the switchboard in the palace, begging them to connect me with you. And they said, sorry, we're not allowed. You know, we have to pass the message, but that's all. And he says, and I had to see you. I said, what happened? She says, what happened was I got a phone call. She didn't live in Belgrade. She was living outside. And she says, I got a phone call from the health center. And they said, the princess has brought a machine now for breast cancer, not only the one that is going from village to village, but it's brought one here, and you can come to be examined. And she says, and when I went there, they discovered that I had cancer in a big way. And I immediately went and got operated, and I'm doing very well. And the only thing that was missing is coming, give you a big hug, and saying, thank you for saving my life. Oh,
that's a wonderful...
That really touched me. I apologized to her. I said, I'm sorry, but you went through all that, but thank you for sharing with me. And this meant a lot to me in the fact that people understand that we have a responsibility to keep up with our health, especially as mothers, and I feel like the mother of my country.
Ukoliko biste želeli da reklamirate svoj biznis na našoj televiziji i da pozdravite i pošaljete čestitku nekom od svojih najbližih, Serbian Toronto TV je tu za vas. Mi vam nudimo sve servise, kreiranje koncepta do snimanja reklame. Za više informacije pošaljite nam e-mail na info@serbiantoronto.tv kako bismo napravili paket koji odgovara baš vama. Studio 011 predstavlja Crvenkapa, pozorišna predstava za decu koja će se održati u Kanadi od 2. do 10. decembra u 8 gradova. Jedna od najpoznatijih bajki svih vremena. U glavnim ulogama Sonjana Imarević, Biljana Mitrović, Stefan Jugović, Dejan Stojaković. Kulturna scena Beograda, bajka braće Grimm u kojoj su uživale brojne generacije. Za više informacija posjetite studio011.ca.
So what is tonight's initiative? What are we trying to raise money tonight for?
For this evening.
Yes. This evening.
I was shocked a few years ago when I went to a camp for children, and there were deaf children, the sign languages and all these things. And I said, in Serbia, in our country, all these children are Serbian children, and they cannot hear. This is absolutely unacceptable. So I put them all together and I sent them to Chicago and with their teachers and everything in Michigan. When they flew into Chicago and then went into Michigan, and they mix with other children from the United States, which were also deaf. And some of the parents went and the teachers went, and they've learned a lot. And we have one of our very well-known doctors, Dr. Megler, who lives in that area and was able to put it all together. And then when they came back, I felt very responsible for these children. And I started thinking, why is it that they did not examine them when they were first born to check them? It's just a few minutes of an exam. And because I asked and they said, exam? We don't have this kind of equipment here. And I said, and you let the babies go home with their mother and father and you haven't checked to see if they can hear or not? He says, yeah. I said, no more. And when I say no more, I mean no more. So I made the point to start putting those machines in the various hospitals. But there's so many hospitals that don't have them. And I don't want to see another Serbian child death like that. So, and I said that no baby should be allowed to go home unless he has a certificate that is clear from hearing and that is able to hear. And so now this tonight makes me so happy because I feel that Serbia, thanks to this effort, will no longer allow the children to suffer over not being able to hear because, you know, it takes a while to figure out they really cannot hear or they don't want to respond, you know. So I'm so happy that we have this opportunity. There's a lot of needs in the country, but we can only take one at a time and complete it properly.
And I believe when we can check something at early stage, it's much easier to address it, and the health would be better.
Yes.
And how much money do we need to raise for the equipment? How many?
Well,
it's very hard.
The number is unlimited because the country has many hospitals.
That's right.
And I don't want to only give it to the hospital that has the majority of babies. A baby is a baby, whether there are 10 or 100, whatever it is. And as a matter of fact, I'm in a process of completing a delivery room because I'm not at Narodni Front because there's a lot of babies. You know, we lost a lot of time with the conflict in our country, and now the couples, you know, have a family and a lot of babies, and I'm not going to have them being born in a corridor because we don't have enough delivery rooms, and of course each delivery room needs equipment. So now, God willing, on December 15, we plan on doing the grand opening with a brand new, at the Narodni Front, a brand new delivery room and all new equipment. So we are focusing on that. It's important to start something, but to finish it.
That's right.
There's a tendency to start things and the excitement seems to be going down, and next thing you know, you find out that they didn't complete it. I don't allow that. And I feel that we have a responsibility to our country as women, as mothers, as who we are, and the faith we have in God and the opportunity that we have. I'm grateful to my husband for choosing me to be his wife and for bringing me into Serbia and giving me an opportunity. I had parents who taught me the joy of giving, not the joy of taking. And my father was one of the biggest philanthropists in Greece. And my mother was the most kind person. She knew all the people in Athens that they were selling corn on a cob and chestnuts in the corners of the street. And we used to go and bring them clothes, food, everything. And so I grew up with that. And as a matter of fact, I told my mother, I said, Mother, tell me, what can I do for you to make you proud? She says, only one thing. I said, only one? I said, what is it? She says, I want you to be a good example in life. I didn't realize it was for a lifetime. And so I took it up and I learned that. And I share that a lot. We have a lot of schools that come to Serbia, to the palace. And when the children see me, they're so disappointed. They said, where is your crown? I said, my crown is in my heart. Without love, we have nothing. And now, all these orphans, all these children from schools, all these children, the minute they see me, they go there, telling me, I know where your crown is. And so this makes me very happy.
Ukoliko biste želeli da reklamirate svoj biznis na našoj televiziji i da pozdravite i pošaljete čestitku nekom od svojih najbližih, Serbian Toronto TV je tu za vas. Mi vam nudimo sve servise, kreiranje koncepta do snimanja reklame. Za više informacije pošaljite nam email na info@serbiantoronto.tv kako bismo napravili paket koji odgovara baš vama.
So you're here in Toronto, you're going to be traveling Chicago, you were in New York, so that's a lot of work.
Right.
And I just want to know, because we have people all over the world, Serbian people, how do they receive it? How much are they willing to participate in this initiative, and how much are they willing to give? And how do they respond to...
Well, first of all, when people see results, and they do give, and they're really very interested to help. To give you an example, for example, this mobile unit with digital mammography that has examined 160,000 over women is broken. And it is 210,000 euros to buy it. And I'm determined to buy it. And we had an event in New York just in the last few days, and we did manage to have two people who gave 100,000 each. in order to do that, because they look at me and he said, "You want to do this badly?" I said, "Absolutely." And it broke their heart. They said, I can't say no to you. She says, I don't think I'll be able to sleep at night. He says, I can see it. We have to have passion. We have to believe in what we do. And I think that everybody who gives in this situation should feel the satisfaction. They have a responsibility in the country. And Lifeline was built to remind people that just because they don't live in Serbia or Republika Srpska or Kosovo, as far as that goes, that doesn't mean that they don't have a responsibility. And if you stop and think, who would help if the people from my country don't help? What door can I knock with all the wars and the problems in this world? How can I knock at a door? We have some very serious situations in Serbia. We have, first of all, I completed a few years ago the first palliative care, because the hospitals, they're saying to me, Princess Catherine, help us. We can't keep the people in a hospital. They need to go home. But who is going to look after them? We don't have palliative care. So I opened the first one a few years ago in Niš. And just a month ago, we had a dinner at the White Palace with 525 people coming for palliative care. I am determined to take care of these people when the hospital can no longer have them because they have others who they need to bring in. And the families don't know how to take care of them. The husband and wife are working, the children go to school. Who is going to look after the person? So palliative care is very important at the moment. That is one issue that I'm putting my foot down, and I expect to start palliative care throughout the country. And if somebody has a home that they inherited and they live abroad, I would like them to call me and tell me, and this home will become a palliative care home. And fix it all up and being able to bring the people for as long as it takes, maybe a month, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, but the hospitals need to bring the new patients in. And they cannot have patients occupying a bed because there is no place to take the patient. We have to be correct. And when we see something, I make sure everybody knows about it, because I hear from people saying, if I only knew it. And I say, well, in order to know something, you do have to look and to ask. So I'm very proud of the work Lifeline is doing. Chicago, for example, is an amazing office. And every Christmas and every Easter, they send over 1,000 orphans that we have in the palace to celebrate Christmas and to have Easter there, and they send for the children shoes, clothes, toys, and we've been doing that we are there 22 years. We've been doing it for 22 years. Our children come from all over the country with buses, and then I call the grocery stores and I get food, because where you normally put in the buses the luggage, I fill it up with food so the children can have lentils and can have nice food for them, because our orphans need to grow up and be healthy. So this is how we do our work. And I'm grateful that my husband gave me this opportunity to make a difference.
Ukoliko biste želeli da reklamirate svoj biznis na našoj televiziji i da pozdravite i pošaljete čestitku nekom od svojih najbližih, Serbian Toronto TV je tu za vas. Mi vam nudimo sve servise, kreiranje koncepta do snimanja reklame. Za više informacije pošaljite nam email na info@serbiantoronto.tv kako bismo napravili paket koji odgovara baš vama.
What is this all humanitarian work that you do, all the good that you do?
My work reminds people that we are not responsible only for ourselves. We are responsible from the country where our ancestors were born, or the spouse, or whatever. We have a responsibility in this world. We didn't come just to please ourselves. And also, what lessons are we teaching our children? What lessons are we teaching the children? Are they going to grow up and look after Serbia when we are no longer around? Who is going to teach them the responsibility of looking after one's country? Just because people don't live there, that doesn't mean that the motherland doesn't need them. It needs them. And they shouldn't have to be reminded. Everyone should be within themselves thinking of Serbia and trying to figure out what they can do. There's so much we can do. And the people are so appreciative. It's so sad to let Serbia go down the hill and not to help. It has wonderful people that were born there, that grew up there. No other country could replace Serbia. And I want people to remember and not to think, I'll do it next year. No. If they don't have a good reason to do it next year, they have to do it now. And putting things off is when someone doesn't really mean that they want to do it.
Your Highness, Prince Crown Alexander, can I ask you a question?
Please.
In regards to, I would like to ask you how proud you are of your wife and how proud you are of Lifeline organization and everything she has done so far over.
I'm very proud of my wife. She's been doing this for more than 30 years, helping Serbia and people regardless of religion or ethnic origin. That's very important. And proud of all the members of Lifeline and the donors. The donors are not only the diaspora, Serbs abroad, but also Americans, Canadians, French, whatever. It's amazing. It's a great organization. And it's serious because it's registered charity in Canada. It's 501c3s in America, which are tax efficient. It's registered in the United Kingdom, registered in Greece, and registered in Serbia. And the Serbian office is the funnel for all these lifelines abroad. And they work very, very well. I'm so proud of all the donors and all the board members and everybody who's tried to help.
When I met my husband, he said, I have a mission. I said, what is it? He says, I want to bring my father home. And that is another motivation that he had. He was buried in Illinois, and he was so motivated to bring him home because his father told him, if I pass away, please bring me home. And this was so heavy in his heart when his father died. He felt that he has to do it. And so I'm proud in the fact that he has such a sense of responsibility. And then he brought, of course, his uncle, Tomislav, and he brought his mother, who was in the United Kingdom.
Queen Maria.
And, you brought the family home.
Queen Maria,
That's right.
Yeah.
Queen Maria.
He couldn't come here because it was a communist dictatorship.
That's right.
I don't recommend any type of dictatorship, fascism, Nazism. Democracy is the solution. And we moved ahead along forward in Serbia. I united the opposition against the regime after the bombing, which was criminal. And the 5th of October was a very important day. And since then, we've had progress, but there's been sort of stalling moments. But we're moving ahead. There are being jobs that are being created. And I'd like to say charity is very much active in even the rich countries, Canada, United States, France, and so on. Because many people say, when we went to the hospitals, pitamo, šta je situacija ovdje? Ne treba ništa, sve u redu. Sve u redu. And then gradually, that would melt away, and you'd see the tragedy of the hospitals and the health centers. And now they tell us we need this, we need that. Email is a fantastic thing, that they have lists and things like that. So we're doing like even rich countries do. We help each other. These foundations are very, very good. But we have to be very careful that there's no corruption.
Thank you.